Greetings all. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the background of what we're trying to accomplish in this group, what you can expect from us moving forward, and where to find us, and all of that good jazz. My name is Paul Lytle, and this is the Reformed Tolkienian. First of all, what is this? There's two components to what, at this point, we have for the Reformed Tolkienian. First of all, there's a Facebook group, and I do encourage you to join. I will put the link down below. This is a group where we are going to be discussing Tolkien's work from a particular worldview, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. Secondly, it is on YouTube, a series of playlists or a master playlist of discussions on Tolkien and related works and stuff inspired by him, and music and reviews and criticisms and all of that. So first things first, how do we get to this point? Well, I first thought about the idea when I was listening to the Tolkien Professor, which is a fantastic podcast that I think that anybody halfway interested in Tolkien's work should be listening to. But in this particular episode, and I'll link to that right below, it's an interview with Professor David Perlmutter, and most of it is focused on war and tactics in Lord of the Rings. And by the way, I completely agree with Professor Perlmutter's analysis of this, and he's much more of an expert in this area than I am. But even I, looking through it, battles are Tolkien's weak point, and it stands out simply because he does everything else so incredibly well. And David Perlmutter was right in pointing out that there is an inherent Deus Ex Machina that comes about in these battles, that they should not play out the way that they do. But I had a reaction. I was in the car driving to work when I was listening to this, and I had a reaction to something he said. He says, these battles end in a Deus Ex Machina, and that Deus Ex Machina is Tolkien himself, that he can't stand having the good guys lose. He can't have evil triumph. And my immediate thought was, no, it's the Deus Ex Machina is not Tolkien, it's Iluvatar. And I realized all of a sudden that if you are reading these books, and I don't mean to suggest that that Professor Perlmutter is meaning this or anything like that. I simply don't know enough about him to say one way or another. But if you are coming across these books from a naturalistic worldview, there's going to be moments in there that luck, that chance, that sudden turn in the battle that is going to bother you, because it's not at all like classical literature where we see exactly what the gods are doing, right? And they're constantly jumping in and out of the story and causing havoc or fixing problems. It's not at all like that, but it's also not at all strict materialism, naturalism. Okay, Iluvatar does not appear in The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, but his presence is everywhere. And from a Christian worldview, that makes sense. But specifically from the Christian worldview, this is how God acts. He's not very often throwing lightning bolts at people. He's not appearing to people and fixing problems just directly, immediately. But he is in constant control. He is guiding even the small events, and he does actually bring about good from evil things. And so with that background, Iluvatar makes a lot more sense. And even in the text itself, and I want to read a famous passage from the Hobbit, where it's at the very, very end, but Bilbo is talking to Gandalf and says, "Then the prophecies of the old songs have turned out to be true." Well, after a fashion. Gandalf says, "Of course. And why should they not prove true? Surely you don't disbelieve the prophecies because you had a hand in bringing them about yourself. You don't really suppose, do you, that all your adventures and escapes were managed by mere luck, just for your sole benefit? You are a very fine person, Mr. Baggins, and I am very fond of you, but you are only quite a little fellow in the wide world after all." "Thank goodness," Bilbo said, laughing, and handed him the tobacco jar. And this is literally pointing out the guidance and the presence of Iluvatar, the god that is explored more fully in the Silmarillion. So I discovered that is what I really wanted to talk about. That effect of the Christian worldview on Tolkien, and in what we bring to the work when we look at it from a Christian worldview. So what this group is simply an effort to look at the works, from that thoroughly Christian worldview, and learn more about them that way, and see where Tolkien's Christianity really does affect the overall works and make them better. But I want to do all of this and this is an idea that really has affected me from the Tolkien professor, is his desire to have not just the scholars talking about this, and not just the professors and PhDs, but to have a free discussion of things. And so that's why a Facebook group, and that's why YouTube videos, and there's been other groups of that I belong to on Facebook that have had podcasts pop up out of them. I don't have the schedule for that, but other people in the group may want to do that. And the point of this is not to have one place where we're discussing things, but to actually be able to spend some time interacting with the material in a much larger way, and to talk about questions, to answer questions, to bring up theories, to discuss the different works and the different things that have been inspired by Tolkien, and also to create things that are inspired by Tolkien. So I mean, well, neither the arts nor literary criticism are my day job, but they're both hobbies of mine, and I found myself very much inspired by Tolkien, and this is something that I, for one, would like to express, and I think others would as well. And so that's another outlet for this group and for these sets of videos. So actually, the very first Reformed Tolkien video that came out before this one, which is really the introduction, was a song I wrote that really had been inspired by Tolkien, and we're using a clip of that for the intro music to this, but you can check out the full song. So long story short is, I have no intention of being the only person walking down this road. I have no intention of being the one that is, starting every discussion and making every video. Is I want people who are interested in this stuff to look into it more, and then to share what they've learned, or if it's inspired them, to share the result of that inspiration. And that's why this is not going to be a channel on YouTube. It's going to be a playlist, and that's why, so I can add videos from other members of the group into the playlist. So the first step, if you want to join us on this, is go to the Facebook group. It is a private group, so you'll have to ask permission to join. But as long as you're not a jerk there, should be fine. But if there's something that's interesting you, we're going to have discussions on there. We're going to have step-by-step process on submitting ideas and videos, and to get these out and to construct, basically be a resource for people who are getting into Tolkien, who have questions, who have been in for a while and just like talking about it. Is we want to create a body of work that people can come to and learn and share and be part of. And so that's what we're trying to do here. And so if this is something that interests you, I do hope you'll join us. You certainly don't have to be Reformed to join the group. You don't have to be a Christian to join the group. But I will say that our discussions are going to assume the Christian worldview. That is our starting point. And so I hope you'll join us there. The links are below. Keep on a lookout, and we'll have more videos out soon. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.